to New York, and we're going to do an update on the Ghislaine Maxwell trial that started earlier last week. If you were here last week, you would have gotten an update. You would have gotten an update on what transpired last week. So this week, I'm going to touch on that again. So last week we heard from Jane, and then since then, Jane is an alias for one of the victims who did not want to be identified by her proper name. This week, since then, we've had Kate and Carolyn have testified. So I'm going to start with Kate, state what she said, then go to Carolyn, and then there's a couple other people who have since testified as well. Just going to break that down a little bit. So Kate said she met Miss Maxwell in London when she was 17. She was introduced by an older man she was dating. Miss Maxwell had a home in Belgravia in an upscale neighborhood where Kate was living with her mother. At the time Kate testified, she had just moved back to England from France and had few friends. I was quite excited to be friends with her, Kate testified. She seemed to be everything that I wanted to be. Okay. Kate told the jury that one day Miss Maxwell asked her to fill in for Mr. Epstein's masseuse, though she had no experience. During the massage, Mr. Epstein initiated sexual contact, and that pattern was repeated multiple times over the next few years in London and at his residences in the United States. She recalled one occasion in Florida when Miss Maxwell gave her a schoolgirl outfit, a short pleated skirt, white socks, white panties, and a shirt to wear while bringing tea to Mr. Epstein at the mansion. That too led to sexual activities initiated by Mr. Epstein. I didn't know how to say no to that, Kate testified. I wasn't sure if I said no, if I would have to leave, or what kind of consequence there might be for not doing it. You have to dress up in a schoolgirl outfit. So that's what Kate testified. That's what she had to do. So on Carolyn, she testified that when she was 14, a friend brought her to Mr. Epstein's mansion in Palm Beach, saying she could make money for a massage. Once there, Carolyn told the jurors she watched her friend massage Mr. Epstein, then have sex with him. Over the next 4 years, Carolyn said she gave Mr. Epstein more than 100 sexual massages for money, during which time he touched her and masturbated. Miss Maxwell called her to arrange some of those massage sessions, Carolyn said. On 2 occasions, he summoned another woman to join the sexual activity. At least once, Carolyn said, Miss Maxwell participated herself, touching Carolyn's breasts, hips, and buttocks. She recalled that Miss Maxwell said that I had a great body for Mr. Epstein and his friends. What the hell? She told jurors that she told both Miss Maxwell and Mr. Epstein how old she was. Carolyn says she spent money she received for the massage sessions to buy alcohol and drugs and ended up abusing both. She stopped going to Mr. Epstein's house when she was 18. He asked me if I had any younger friends, and I said no. And that's when I realized I was too old. Another person who testified, his name was Sean. He told the jury that he had driven his ex-girlfriend Carolyn, along with 2 other teenage girls he was dating, to Mr. Epstein's Palm Beach home regularly from around 2002 to 2004. Sean said Carolyn left Mr. Epstein's mansion with hundreds of dollars after each visit, and said she told him about Miss Maxwell. On cross-examination, he was pressed to explain why he had been unable to place Miss Maxwell's accent in his previous meetings with the government. Another witness, Nicole Hess, said she worked part-time for Mr. Maxwell and Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell at the Palm Beach house for about a year, from 2003 to 2004. She said that while she was almost never there at the same time as they were, she had instructions to take down phone calls that came in on a message pad near the telephone, and some of those messages have been entered into evidence. Another witness, Janine Gill, who was a human resource director at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, where Virginia Roberts, who is now called Virginia Gifford and has been one of Mr. Epstein's most outspoken accusers, has said she first met Miss Maxwell. Ms. Roberts has not testified at the trial, but a former Epstein employee told the jury last week that he and Miss Maxwell met her at the resort. And Ms. Gill introduced evidence that Ms. Roberts' father worked at the resort at around the time this took place. David Rogers he's also somebody else who testified. He was a former pilot to Mr. Epstein, and he walked the jury through the flight logs of Mr. Epstein's private aircraft from 1996 to 2001, showing that he flew Mr. Epstein and others between Mr. Epstein's various homes and other locations. And he said Miss Maxwell was on many of those flights. He also testified sometimes that Miss Roberts flew with Mr. Epstein alone. And the passenger logs show some passengers were marked in the book simply as one female or two females. Annotations that Mr. Robert Rogers said that he had not been told their names. So the pilot is, stating what he stated, and he stated that the reason why he wrote one female or two female is because he was not given the names of the party who was traveling with him. So the trial was temporarily adjourned today because one of the lawyers got sick. So it should continue tomorrow. If not, it's Monday. I'll keep you guys posted if anything changes, or just keep giving you regular updates until this particular trial comes to an end. So that's the update for Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. We're going